and I hit that button, and then this button. I think I did it. Okay. All right. So, chat, you have to let me know if it's working. Like I said, trying a few things today, and apparently, whatever my computer does audio-wise, she has been able to hear so far. So, that's been fun. But anyway, hi, hello. We are here today with Lynn Redder, and we cross paths because she is working on Grimwood Games' game,
Yes.
Masked Paws. And you may or may not have seen a short that had this squirrel on it. Yeah. So she did that. She's the one responsible for that. So I thought it'd be fun to bring an artist on, have a little chit chat. But she also has a super secret project that will eventually not be so super secret. We're going to get into that in the later part of this, but first we're going to look into the art world a bit. So, Lynn,
Hi.
give us your elevator pitch of self.
Of just me?
Yeah, who are you? What do you do?
Oh, okay. Excellent. So, my name's Lynn. I've been doing tabletop art in its various forms for about 10 years now. I started out doing like oil painting and like realism portraiture. Like that was what I studied all throughout middle school, high school, into college. I didn't finish college because, money. College is expensive. So I was like, you know what? I'm much better as like a self-taught learner. 10 years ago, I decided to try to get into more of like a comic style artwork. So I taught myself how to do all of that. And from there, I just kind of integrated it into my own tabletop gaming sessions. I would draw for friends. I would, my first time ever playing like Dungeons and Dragons was me being like, hey, I'm going to DM this. I've never played this in my life before, so I'm going to go ahead and try to do it myself. And it was a homebrew game. So I made all of my own artwork and tokens and maps and stuff. And I realized how much I absolutely loved, bringing characters and things to life. So I started doing, one-off commission work and things like that for a couple years, got my foot in the door with that. And then I have slowly integrated more into hardcore tabletop projects, not just like one-off commissions for players. Mm-hmm. I'm working more with like the game creators or like the game masters themselves. And that has kind of landed me where I am. My first ever completed project was Beacon Island for Savage Worlds by Pear Tree Studio. So that got a successful kickstart, and it is I believe all the backers already got their printed copies and their digital copies. And I believe it is going to Drive Through RPG within like the next month or so. I'm not entirely sure when Pete has that ready to go, but so I have artwork for that I can show you guys. And my big project that's not so secret is something I've been kind of brainstorming for a while now. It is a way to not just have developers and creators meet artists. That does kind of already exist in a bunch of different forms. This is going to be more so, how do we support you working with the artist? And, we'll get into that later as the chat continues, but it's more going to be on the art direction management side and helping game creators speak with artists and artists who want to get into this and take things, more to a professional level, how to speak with game creators and like how to work on those kinds of projects. So yeah.
Super cool, man. All right.
Yeah.
So, hoity-toity oil painter gone TTRPG artist. Okay. So that's what I picked up from that. All right. So, you had mentioned before we actually went live about people getting your name wrong at work. So is your day is your day job not your art thing, or is that still in the art field? Or
I work in an art museum as my day job. Yeah.
There you go.
Nothing super fancy. I am a manager of the security So I manage all of like the guards, and I have to do a lot of, you know, making sure the building's not going to collapse, making sure people aren't stealing artwork, making sure people aren't being weird, kicking people out, that kind of fun stuff.
I mean, it does sound pretty fun. I'll kick some people out of the art
It's
museum. How often do you get to do
it
that?
kick people out.
Yeah.
Uh Probably like 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Like we just had a situation actually on Friday where, you know, people were being weird to other people, and we had to be like, hey, guess what, you can leave now.
So just enough to keep you on your toes.
Yes, for sure. Also, you know, make sure people oh my god, so we have to sit in a control room that has like all the TVs. It looks like the Batcave
Mhm.
basically, and you have all the, you know, the cameras and stuff. And um my goodness, the amount of full grown adults that think they can just touch things or like
Yeah.
our sculptures and touch them inappropriately, and like, oh, it's woo.
Yeah.
It's makes you really question some people.
I remember seeing a clip a while back. It was like some sculpture made out of sugar or something, or
Yep.
honey, and they're just holding their kids over the thing and letting them lick it. It's just like, really?
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
serious?
We have a third floor to our museum. Our museum is over 100 years old, and there is a third floor to it that is going to be opening up soon. And there's a place in the middle where you can like kind of look over the balcony, and it just drops straight down. The amount of times we have to tell parents not to put their children on that is wild. It makes me queasy looking over the edge and just seeing, because I don't like heights particularly, but like people just plop their kids up on top of that, and we have to like, hey, please don't do that. You know, I know it's your kid, but then we have to clean up the aftermath, unfortunately. So let's not do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's oh,
what I'm
it
hearing
freaks me out.
is we need a museum of electrical current, and everything you touch just zaps you real good. So
Cattle prods. Oh, we have voice alarms. So if you get too close to some like specific things, a voice ahead will like be like, you know, you're too close to the exhibit, please step back. And people get so offended because they think it's us like worming the galleries. I think that we're yelling at them. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, that was you, but whatever.
yeah. No, well, see, it was Glee just said it in the chat. We got close to a rope one time. That was the
Mhm.
what was that museum? The Jade Museum or whatever. And it was like this entire horse carriage made out of jade. Um, and we were plenty far away from it. And they got on the speakers
Mhm.
like, "Please step back." I was like, "I can't even
It's
reach it from here, and I got long arms."
I'll say it's two things. Usually it's the people who donated the item, or like if it's like a traveling show or something, they will be very specific on how close people can get to it, and we
Hmm.
have to enforce that. Another thing is we have alarms that basically has like a laser beam grid that kind of points at the object, and if you're tall or if you have a shadow that's cast, that'll like it'll like go off the beam.
Hmm.
It'll just go off. So a lot of the times we'll go up and be like, "Hey, you're fine. You're just tall,"
Yeah.
and they're usually okay with it. We try to be like, "Hey, you know, that's just how it is." But it's you get some very specific rules from very specific people on
Hmm.
certain objects. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a very interesting job.
Well, sounds like it. Let's see. Blaze says there's an electrical thing in a British museum that you could touch and zapped you. That was fun. Sounds like he touched it. All right. Well, I was going to ask if you ever felt like you wish you had chosen a different field than the one you're in, but it's going to sound like no.
No, I am looking into getting into less the security side, and I want to get more into like the event planning space personally.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a very talkative person. I like talking to people and like throwing events and like dealing with vendors and exhibitors and things like that. And I do plan on, you know, trying to get into that field at my own work, at our art museum because we throw events and stuff like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to do the security for all of those events. But I do want to get into more of that field, more of working with people who are trying to, you know, have a booth somewhere or things like that, and hoping eventually to transfer that knowledge over to the con circuit, like the convention circuit for gaming and stuff like that. So that's the plan. So we'll see. I have my tendrils in a lot of different projects that I'm looking forward to. So
So you like having your 9 to 5 and then doing your art stuff on the side, or?
yeah, during the pandemic I did do art full time. A lot of commission work full time. It was great. It was fantastic. Had a great time. It does get draining, but since then, you know, that was 6 years ago. I am a lot more like scheduled. Like I have a lot more of like discipline as far as that stuff goes. But it was a great learning experience. So if I could do artwork full time, that would be great.
Okay, so you would like to. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you know, some people like that 9 to 5 structure, and they're like, nah, I don't want to draw all day, every day, and just here and there.
Yeah.
So.
I think ideally 9 to 5, I would like to be more on the back end of the art stuff. Not so much physically doing the artwork all by myself all the time. But like I said, I'm leaning, as I get older, I'm leaning more into like being the support side versus the straight up artist. I'll still take commissions and like do stuff, of course. I can't not do that. I feel gross if I'm not making art at any point in time. So
well, that's actually a great segue into something else I was wanting to ask, was just how often, because I was wondering when you're sitting there drawing the squirrel that's on the screen currently, is like how often do you just draw to stay sharp or practice, or just
not as much as I wish I could. Oh. I'm very lucky that my job right now has a lot of downtime to where I can just kind of sketch something out and things like that. Most of the time my studying and like doing artwork like that is basically what we just randomly did for the squirrel, like that we were just hanging out and I was like, hey, tell me what to make. Okay, cool, let's do it. And then I can lock into it. But we just moved to a house as well. So like this past month has been, I have not like been able to sit still.
Yeah.
And just decompress and doodle like I usually do. It comes in waves. So.
Well, yeah, I got a good squirrel out of the deal, man. I like it.
I know. He's awesome.
was a fun short to make too. People seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, what about the art community itself, though? Is that something you typically get along well with, or do you find a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, undesirables in the art community?
So that, it depends. It's like any other community. You're going to have the people that you vibe with, and you're going to have the people that are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. It's a community. There's going to be, you know, differing opinions and different personalities and different lives and perspectives everywhere.
Yep.
For the most part, though, it is a very good community, and I do like it a lot. The biggest complaint I've seen so far with the art community is I can't find work, like steady income. That is like the biggest situation that you'll come across. I'm in quite a few different like art communities, and it's pretty much the same. Like, hey, I'm open for commissions. Here's all my stuff, and then you're just kind of shouting into a void.
Yeah.
Because if you're in an art community and you're like, hey, I'm open for commissions, let's do stuff, you're just selling yourself to other artists.
Yep.
That you're not going to get nothing from that, unfortunately. So, and then, you know, you've got your people who are pretentious and who are like, no, that is not good quality. Why on earth are you selling your artwork for this much? Or, you know, whatever.
Those are the Redditors, right?
Yeah, I don't like the gatekeeping thing. Luckily, for the most part, the people I've met have been super chill and very understanding, especially in the tabletop community.
Yeah.
They've all been super down to earth and like the nicest people I've ever met, and no one so far has been very gatekeepy or being like, hey, you're doing this wrong, you should run
Yeah.
off into traffic or something. Internet.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. I was kind of wondering, um,
Yeah.
how that community is, the TTRPG customer base versus other customers.
Yeah. The issue with the other customers is, you don't know who these people are. They're coming to you and they're like, yeah, I'll pay this amount. And then they turn out to like scam you. Luckily, that's only happened to me like a handful of times in the 10 years I've been doing this.
One of them was Dave
So,
from Grimwood Games.
oh, yep. Call him out right now.
The
No.
worst.
No, it's just something you have to take into consideration. Like, you don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And, that's why people are like, oh, you need to take so and so much money up front. This is how you get scammed. This is why you have to do things a certain way.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it doesn't happen as much, at least to me. Maybe I've just been lucky. I'll take that if that's the case.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. All right. Well, I have to ask because I know we got some aspiring artists out there. So if you had to give them, we'll say, one piece of advice, your best advice for trying to get into the art field, we'll say something similar to what you're doing. What would you tell them? Run away?
Run away. Don't do this. It's awful. No. I'd say if you're trying to get into tabletop art specifically, I would say immerse yourself in the community as much as possible. I started with, my own game art, and I would just post it and be like, hey, I do artwork for my own personal games. Here's some cool stuff I made. Like, what do you think? And, you're getting game developers and creators popping in saying like, hey, I like that style. Like, it's just kind of getting you out there and talk to people. Like, comment to people. Like, if people add you as a friend that you notice are in the community, just pop a message and say, hey, what's up? Like, hey, cool, thanks. I liked your stuff. That's awesome. And, you just have to be active.
That's what I'm bad at. Is the communicating and social part. It's just like, oh man, can't I just make something and put it out?
Yeah. But again, that's the kind of talking into the void kind of thing. And, if you do it too much, people are just gonna kind of scroll past you because they're like, oh yeah, I've seen this 1,000 times. And I've seen that in, Facebook groups that I'm currently in for the tabletop community creators and stuff like that. Like, an artist will be like, hey, I made these, message me for commission pricing or something like that. And you just kind of, I would imagine, just scroll through because you're like, okay, whatever. Like, there's no engagement to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not asking a question. You're not asking for, feedback if that's something you want, or, hey, I played this game and here's the character I made. Like, what would make him more menacing looking or something like that. It's just trying to get people to talk.
Yeah.
Not just drop and run.
But I like running away.
Don't run away. No, you can't run away.
That's the squirrel thing to do, right?
Grimwood says he owes me money.
Dave the con man. Terrible.
Con man.
Terrible. He got you good. Well, so we'll use that segue here on Dave's project. You enjoying that?
I am loving it. It's funny because I've never drawn anthro characters before.
No.
I did like one-offs
this far in the TTRPG community and not. I feel like that's a majority.
Well, I started a lot of my gaming art just taking commissions, and a lot of the time it's players who are like, oh, I play Pathfinder or whatever game, tabletop role-playing game, and I'm like, oh, I want my character. Can you draw my character? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Easy, whatever. And very rarely it's animal characters.
Interesting.
Yes, I've done a few, but not a lot of them. So when Dave was like, hey, do you want to do this game? And I was like, I sure will try.
Let's see.
I will give it.
DM Tail said you drew his character. I didn't know that. What was that for? Was that for their Tales of Argosa game they're playing, or?
I don't remember.
Wes, send it to me if you're at your computer.
I bet I have it. I bet I have it on my iPad somewhere. I don't remember what it was. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, twice dead. That's what I was trying to say politely. This community is bursting with furries, so that's why I was like, how have you not drawn this kind of stuff?
Yeah, like
Prismatic for masked paws. That was yours?
Yes, prismatic.
Oh.
I loved prismatic. That was fun. Like here, I'll drop in some masked paws art right here,
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
you can totally see my iPad because I screenshot it.
That's the main guy, right?
Yeah.
Prismatic's the wolf. Yeah, on the
Yeah,
right over there.
there he is. There he is. Yeah, prismatic was fun.
Yeah, he's trippy looking. If you look at it too long, you start getting cross-eyed. It's like, oh, all the weird colors. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So I don't draw anthros that much. So I'm like, okay, what's a really good artist I can use as like a reference for? And I looked up oh my goodness, I am completely spacing. Oh, Don Bluth. I looked up a whole bunch of artwork from Don Bluth movies.
I feel like I should know that name. It sounds super
So
familiar.
that's All Dogs Go to Heaven, Five Will Goes West, American Tail.
Okay. Five Will Goes
that-
West is great.
Oh, I love Five Will Goes West. I saw that one before in American Tail. So when I watched the original, I'm like, what's happening? Like, in New York or wherever they were. But yeah, I looked up a lot of his artwork. What was another one that he did? Secret of Nim was a big one that I looked at. So I would look at his artwork and I would kind of emulate it off to the side, and I would see how he draws specific features depending on what animal it is. And then I was like, okay, once I got his process down, I can go over here and transfer it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No, I like the way they look because there is that furry art style, and then when I see that, I'm just like, man, I don't know what it is about it. It's like I don't want nothing like that. So.
I don't. Do I have any furry art on here? Let me see if I do.
Boy.
I don't partake in it usually.
I like what Wisp says. That's the dark side to the art, where you have suspiciously affluent clientele.
Yes, or you have very, very, very specific clientele.
The guy I got to do the squirrel for my YouTube, he likes to pick on me. He's like, "All right, here's your fursona." It's like, you stop.
Let's see. This guy is kind of a furry, but he's like a fun kind and not the weird kind. So far, I have not been asked to make anything weird. Thank goodness.
Give it time.
Oh, I talked to my husband about it, and I was like, "Hey, I could make some
mad cash.
I could make mad cash if I get weird with this." And he's like, "Don't do that." He's like, "Don't sell yourself out like that." Ah, Dragon's Lair. I love Dragon's Lair. Whoever wrote that.
Dave's going back to knocking on doors. Good luck, man. Sell some internet.
Woo! This is a little dude I made for someone. They wanted a party.
I like that.
A whole party character. Isn't he great? He's great.
He's pretty great. What a derp. Oh man.
That's probably like the closest more recently that I've gotten to animal art. But I'm learning a lot with masked paws, so
that's good. That's good. So maybe you'll be an animal specialist after this.
Who knows? I have learned that it is a lot more forgiving as far as anatomy goes.
Really?
So yeah.
I thought it'd be harder.
No, like I specialize in like more of the humanoid people because I love doing, figure studies and like painting portraits and things like that. I'm very fluent in it. But like with, your squirrel and stuff, I was able to be like, okay, I know the basic shapes, blah, 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 blah. And you can be a little bit more wacky with animals than with people. Because if you do that with people, then they don't look like people.
That's true. That's true. Interesting. Well. Well, you said you liked masked paws. You've been having fun with that. So are there some other projects you are particularly proud of or ashamed of? Embarrassed?
Ashamed? I am alongside Masked Paws. I'm working on a game by Epic Table Games. It's called the Wayward Guide to King's Haven, or it's King's Shaven. It's one of those two. I've only seen it written down, but it is a kind of wacky looking game, and I just finished 2 of the characters for it. Actually, I can pull these up. These guys. So these guys were super fun to make. Yeah.
They're so bright.
Oop, there we go. Yeah, they're the Banana Guard.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Yeah, this is a very absurdist kind of game, which I'm really into. It's still very grounded, but there are absurdist elements to it, which I'm having a lot of fun with. And he gave me the written like area of where these people are and a description, and he also gave me a little bit of a visual reference, but I kind of took it in a different direction.
I like how his knuckles say Nana Split on him.
Yeah, that was my idea, and I was like, "Can I add this because it sounds funny?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And I also did the Banandolier.
Yeah, Banandolier.
I think the original, the original reference had the big guy. He had a cannon, like a big giant cannon, and I was like, "Can I make it a minigun where he just mashed bananas inside of it? Because it's funnier." So there you go.
The next Team Rocket clone.
Team Banana. For sure. And like the smaller guy has a hat that looks like the banana.
Yeah.
He has a holstered banana.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's been super fun. And like I said, Beacon Island was my very first game. Okay. And now it's like in a physical print that I'm very excited to get eventually.
That's pretty great.
That was a learning experience, let me tell you.
Yeah. In a good or bad way?
A good way.
Okay.
It took a year, I think, for it to come together all the way. So I had to do all the artwork for it. I say that like I was forced to do it. I chose to do it.
Held you at gunpoint.
Yeah. But so the fun thing that I learned is that I do not like making maps. I had to make all the maps, and I was like, after this, I'm never doing maps ever again.
Yeah, that's why you get the people that do just maps.
Specific maps, yeah. So this person, Pete, he sweet guy, but I'll show you what I was given to work with, and then what I had to turn it into to give you all non-art people an idea of what's going on. So that was the sketch I was given. It's like, hey, can you turn this into a cool looking map? It's like, great, I'll do that.
Sure, man. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
You got a little bit to work with.
I got a little bit to work with, but this is the kind of reference I was given. And he's like, make this look like a map that you would have in your glove compartment.
Oh. Like
and I was like, okay.
Roads and everything. And oh, geez.
So yeah, so it's my job, obviously, to translate that into an actual thing. So there you go.
Hey.
I got as close as I could.
Knocked it out of the park.
But that's the kind of things that as an artist you have to be able to do. I'm not entirely sure, how versed are you as a game creator with making art? Like visual art?
No.
Not at all. No. So, like I said, that's just a skill you have to know as an artist, is to be able to translate things. And one of my favorite examples of this is, a game creator comes to an artist and he's like, I want this character to be blue, but like not too blue, but still kind of blue.
So green.
And then, so then you would know, as an art director or something, you would turn to the artist and you would be like, hey, make this a neon color blue, turn down the saturation a little bit so it's not too overwhelming, and also use like a complementary for a shadow to kind of earth it, like tone it down a bit. That's
totally.
I don't know how.
That.
yeah. So you have to be able to kind of translate that kind of stuff.
Actually, I understood a bit of it because Glee, my wife, she's a
Yeah.
graphic designer, so she likes to throw some terminology at me, and I've been picking it up over the years. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you have to know that effect that I did on Prismatic. Let me see if I can pull it up. Where is he?
say this.
Prismatic.
Twice Dead says you made his character too, which I think was the Badger. That was in one of the streams.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. There's Prismatic right there. So the challenge was, how do I make this character, their power is like prismatic light? How do you do that? And luckily I happen to know, oh, that's chromatic aberration. I can do that. I know what that is. Do other people know what that is? I'm not entirely sure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Do you know what chromatic aberration is?
Not well enough to actually explain it, which means no. But like,
Oh.
kind of. Yeah, I have this blurry concept.
Yeah. It's when you kind of blow out the colors and they kind of give off a glow of like RGB color scheme. So it happens a lot with what is that, like that 3D effect where it's got the lines across it? That's kind of similar.
You're talking about when you get like the red and the blue shades that come off? Yeah.
Weirdly enough, my glasses, because I wear contacts, so when I'm wearing my glasses, the sides, like if I go out of the lens, it'll actually aberrate different colors of light. And I told that to my eye doctor, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you knew what that meant." And I was like, "Great." So just knowing like weird little things that you can do, and also knowing your programs is super important.
What do you use on your tablet?
I use Procreate.
Okay.
On the iPad. I used to be a hardcore Clip Studio fan. Clip Studio was amazing, great program, but they went to a subscription model.
Oh no. Boo.
They followed the Adobe Photoshop thing, and I was like, I don't want to pay for this monthly. So I had like a giant tablet that would hook up to my computer, and it would be like my second monitor, and I could draw on it and stuff. And I gave it to a friend of mine and was like, here you go.
Dang, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so it is what it is, unfortunately, but
all right. Let's see, we got a couple questions floating here, and I think we got a really good segue into the other topics. Perfect. So let's start with Twice Dead did want to know what's your favorite thing to draw and what you won't ever draw again, maps excluded.
Ooh, okay. Favorite thing to draw is characters. I love designing characters. I'm actually going to pull up that one guy that I brought up earlier before the stream because I was like, I love this guy. So I'm gonna put him up. Where is he? There he is. Yeah. We can move him around. But yeah, I absolutely adore drawing people's characters. I love drawing, human-ish people, mostly because I am a huge anatomy nerd. Like, I love, like, if I'm doing realism stuff, I paint portraits of people. Like, I love messing with lighting and faces and drawing skulls and, like, bones and, like, skeletons and structure, things like that. That's probably my favorite thing to draw. And I could draw those all day, every day. Least favorite thing, excluding maps, is probably machinery, which I know I'm not alone in that.
Really?
But I only say that because I haven't had a lot of experience to do so.
Okay.
Like, it's not something that I myself would be like, I'm gonna draw whatever today, like whatever machinery today. It's just not something that I think about because it's not something I do. But if I was commissioned to do it and I was forced to do it more, I think I'd get used to it.
I like when I'm playing games or something, or somebody makes some art pieces and there's machinery, I like to not pick on it, but I'll get, I was like, all right, does this guy actually know how this machine works? You'd be looking for the nuts and bolts.
The thing is, though, I had to draw a giant mech for Beacon Island. I'll stick him on the page too. I'll put him down here. But I had to draw a giant mech that was made of junk. It's like a junkyard mech. And I love the way they look when people can pull them off and are like more inclined and more experienced with drawing mechanical things. I think it looks super cool. But I just don't have a lot of opportunity to do so.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's I don't know if hanging around in the TTRPG circles, have you seen anything of Tales from Elsewhere?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so the guy, or one of, he's got several artists, I think. One has been doing kind of the robot-y side of the race of that. Like he had a big heavy influence on that, but one had this huge like mechanical hammer that he had, and it was made out of railroad equipment and train parts. And you know,
That's so cool.
Yeah, when I first saw the image, when Peter showed it to me, you know, my eyes went right to that hammer, and I was like, those are real parts he's got on there. That thing actually works. And then he was telling me, he was like, oh no, he went out and, you know, did his research and like went to the yard and was looking at stuff. I was like, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to be that person that can draw mechanical stuff really well. It's just having, I guess, the excuse to go do so, because it's not something I do on my own.
Yeah.
But if someone told me, hey, we need you to go look at all these car parts, pop open the hood of your car, look at an engine, and then remake one, I'd be like, okay, got it. I'm on it. Yeah, the trash mech, that the junk mech, he was pretty cool. He was fun to make.
I like
so
him.
That was like my first foray.
I know the word, but I can never pronounce it either.
But yeah, those are my two favorites and one not favorites as of yet.
Well, Wisp wants to know how beneficial is getting a reference drawing, even if it's stick figures over/in addition to word-based descriptions.
I think it's helpful, especially if you're describing a pose. So, like for example, like this guy right here, like the guy that's right here, this one. If you have that pose in your brain and you could just be like, oh, I want him to, you know, yeah, that's great. I know what that means, or for the most part.
Here's how I draw a stick figure.
There you go.
I can do it.
It's like, well, I want him to be popping out a little bit more, like bam, bam. But yeah, and if I think it's helpful regardless. Like I said, I had to do a lot of art based off of sketches for the maps I had to do. And I got the general idea. And, you know, before I send anything over that's completely finished, I always do a sketch, a really rough sketch. I'm like, is this what you mean? And they'll be like, yes. Or they'll tell me, no, I want the hand to be up more, or like in a different position, or if they're really specific on it. So far, a lot of the people I've worked with have not been hyper specific on things. It's always the one-off commission people where I'm drawing their character from a game that they're like, this needs to be exactly right, or else I'm going to lose it. Yeah. So I think it's helpful. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can always go to Pinterest and just be like, Pinterest poses that look like this, and then you can just send those over. Yeah. It's like, I want the top half of this character, but I want the bottom half of this one.
What if they come at you with an AI picture they made, and they're like, hey, I generated this as a reference. Is that
so
burn your bottom? So
that's where it gets into like a strange territory, because different people have different boundaries when it comes to AI art. So, you know, for this project that I'm kind of brainstorming with right now, we did a art survey, and we've done a game developer creator survey. And from what we're seeing with the artists, they're saying, I don't want any AI art references given to me, one, for ethic, moral reasons that they may have, And then also they're saying I find it very restrictive for me as an artist, which I do understand. It also depends on, how involved do you want your artist to be on your project? Do you want them to have some sort of creative liberties with it? If you say, I want this, just do it in your style, is the artist going to be comfortable with that? That has to be something that needs to be discussed beforehand. Because if you just hand me an image and say, remake this, like, okay, some people draw it and call it a day. Other artists are like, I have, my art is very important to me, for whatever reason, it's my job, my mental health, my creative outlet. I want to be able to make something a little bit more meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, you could have an idea, you could make something in AI and be like, here you go, I want this. And they'll be like, well, based on everything you sent to me about your game, this doesn't make sense. Like, why would they have this equipment, or why would they be dressed this way if they live in this kind of environment, or what have you? Like, the artist can give you a different perspective. You can tell them no. Mm-hmm. You can say, no, I'd rather it be like this, But like I said, it really depends on what your boundary is as a artist and a creator. Like I said, the developer survey that we did, a lot of the devs, shockingly, a lot of the devs have been like, hey, I use it for light things, like making sure my rule sets are cool, like making sure they don't contradict each other. That's as far as I go. Some people are like, yeah, I do use it for placeholders, and then I'll have an artist come in and remake it. It's going to be what your boundaries are and how you feel about generative AI.
Okay. I was thinking more just like as a reference thing. Like you said, go on Pinterest, grab a reference. Like, to me, yeah, the not artist, it's like, I don't see any difference between that and just, instead of spending 30 minutes searching Pinterest, like, hey, let me take 5 to 10 minutes and just try and word it up.
Like I said, it depends. I know artists who are like, I don't really care. Like, I get it. Like, you're an indie dev and you are limited on your time. You're limited on your budget, what have you. Maybe you don't know a good place to get references besides Pinterest and you don't feel like doing that, it's tough. I personally, I don't like it, but I understand it. I understand it. And again, I'm not gonna go on a witch hunt if you send me AI art and are like, hey, this is kind of what I'm getting at. I'll be like, okay, can I tweak this and make it like, I'll show you my version of it, and then roll from there. But yeah, as far as reference goes, there's a thing that artists do. It's called photo bashing.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with that one. I know what that is.
Photo bashing is super popular. For anyone who doesn't know, photo bashing is where you get a bunch of different references, different photos, different art pieces, and you kind of cut out the pieces that you like and you kind of Frankenstein them together into what you're looking for, and then use that as your reference. So it's similar. So I logically I understand it, but from moral reasons, ethical reasons, you gotta be careful.
All right. Then we got one from Glee. With drawing people, are there any worn textures / materials you find most challenging?
Wait on. Okay, treat them. Wait, where is it? Oh,
I'm
looking at the chat. Drawing metal is very difficult because it's mostly light. So you have to really be knowledgeable of how light works on something shiny. And also like how shadows play into that, because you've got, this is your head. This is like your main light source. This is your rim lighting. This is your shadow. This is your Terminator shadow. Yeah, it's a lot of different tiny things. But there are, like, you can use pre-made brushes and pre-made textures and just slap it on to give you kind of a guideline. So
there you go.
Yeah. They do have assets in like Clip Studio and things like that where you can use like stamps for specific things. Like, I need to have a I need to have like a very large brick wall. I don't want to hand draw every single line, so they can give you stamps that'll do it for you. And it's just like a brush that you paint on. You can use those. I personally don't like doing it because it is different from my own art style and it sticks out. So
yeah.
I personally don't do it, but I there are people who use it and it's fine to do so.
Twice Dead says no knight in shining armor for you then.
I've done knight in shining armor before. I can do it. It's just difficult. I wonder if I have one in my photo gallery real quick that I can slap up here. I don't think I have any. I used to draw exclusively knights because I used to be a medieval fighter. So I would draw people in their knight outfits. I don't do that anymore.
Terrible.
I know. I don't think I have any on my iPad.
Glee wants to know if you make your own brushes or do you prefer finding packs?
I prefer using packs. I currently use what is called, let me see if I can pull it up. If it'll pull up, maybe. I use Grit Texture Supply. It's a brush. They do brush packs, and I use a bunch of different ones. Mine are called the Blitz brushes. Yes, Boo Hurt. I hear that, Whispering Wisps. I see you. Yes, I did do Boo Hurt for about 2 years, I think. My armor's downstairs, unfortunately, but whatever. But I use what are called Blitz brushes, and they mimic comic book brushes. So like the inking for that kind of stuff, where it's not super crispy, it's got a little bit of like texture in it. That's just the style that I enjoy. So I like doing texture packs and like brush packs because I don't want to sit there and make my own.
Very good. 3D art. Have you ever tried it?
I have tried it before. Not my thing.
Not your thing? Oh man.
No, I did a program. I am completely
ZBrush.
blanking on what it was called. It was ZBrush. You're right. Yeah. I did ZBrush. I did a whole class on ZBrush, and I got like the basics of it, and I was like, there's a reason I'm not into sculpting.
I would like to. I don't want to use ZBrush because I feel like it's kind of the Adobe side of things. I bought a ZBrush competitor a long time ago, like when they were just starting. And it's like, I think I paid $50 and it's like several $100s now. So I was like, woo, I got it. But
yeah, you snuck in there.
Yeah, but there's like no tutorials or instructions or anything for it. And it seems super cool. And I hear people say like, yeah, it's actually really powerful. There's just zero documentation. And I did CAD modeling for like 10 or 12 years. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's 3D modeling, but it's super different. Like there is no crossover almost.
Yeah.
Except rotating a model in 3D space. That's about it.
Yeah. It's difficult. Again, I have confidence I could learn it if I had a purpose to do so. It's not something that I'll just be like, I'm going to learn this today.
Yeah. No, it's such, not backwards, but so different because when you do the CAD modeling and like that was specifically my job. It's what I specialized in. I even taught it in schools and stuff. There's not a right or wrong way to do it. Well, there's not a right way to make your models, but there's definitely wrong ways to do it. And there's more efficient ways to do it. And there's, because this is being used for machining and manufacturing. So it's not an art project. Whereas you go over to the ZBrush and 3D Coat and those sculpting softwares, it's like, I keep thinking, okay, I got to have a workflow. There's got to be specific ways to do this thing I'm trying to do. It's like, no, man, just start getting in there and chopping away. It's like, I can't do it.
My brother-in-law is an engineer.
Yeah.
And he has gotten into 3D modeling like crazy.
SolidWorks by chance?
I don't know what he's got, like 4 different 3D printers, and he's an engineer that works on solar panels.
Okay.
And yeah, and he'll sit there and just make stuff. Like he'll just model his own stuff, and he'll be like, "Hey, I need to fix this specific thing that's in my house." He just 3D models a thing to fix it, and then it just
Yep.
does whatever. And I'm like, dude, how? And like he'll make little tiny things for like household objects. He'll just make stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like,
The fancy term is parametric solid modeling. That's what they call it. But
there you go.
it's just CAD modeling. That's all it is.
It sounds fancy. I like it.
It sure does. All right. So let's yeet over to the secret project. But to start that, what is your ideal method of a customer coming to you? And, you know, they say, I want thing. How do they request that? What is your ideal way? Like lots of reference. We kind of touched on it. Do you want a wall of text? Do you want a lot of reference images? Do you want all the freedom? You just want a vibe check? What is the best way they can do that, in your opinion?
It depends on your artist. I will say that. But for me specifically, I enjoy having lots of references, but also getting a vibe of the world you're trying to create. Because that makes me think of things. Like there are many times where I'd sit down with Dave and he'd be like, hey, we're gonna be making a character that's in this part of the Masked Paws city. And I was like, oh, tell me about this area. And then he'll be like, oh yeah, this is like a industrial kind of area. This is where like there's a lot of manufacturing happening, or like there's two different pizza places that are constantly competing with each other, or like just little weird little facts and like fun things. And that'll kind of get my brain going, be like, okay, so maybe some of the filler art we can do would be like empty pizza boxes. I can hide those in like the garbage cans in like the city picture. Or, you know, if this is a industrial place, like what do these people look like? Are they more gruff? They're going to be bigger. We got small characters as well. How do they get in the building? Kind of like when you watch Zootopia a little bit, like I would watch that for like reference on things, on like how they have different characters like be interacting with a world that is too big or too small with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I like having a lot of world building things, whether that be visual or written. It doesn't really matter too much to me. It kind of gives me an idea though of how involved the creator wants me to be, though. They usually tell me up front how much art they are, you know, wanting to be like, I have a very specific idea of what I want this thing to look like. And if they say something like that, I'm just kind of more hands off and be like, you got it. I'll throw my suggestion in, but whether or not they take it, you know, this is your project. I always tell people, I'm like, you're just borrowing my hands. This is all you. Like I'm just assisting you in creating your world. And that kind of is what sparked the super secret project that we've got going on, because you know, I want to help game developers and artists kind of come together and work successfully. Because the problem we're seeing right now is artists want the work, and then the game creators are like, the problem I have is the artists, you know, are they going to scam me? Are they going to drop out of the project midway through? Are they going to, you know, meet their deadlines on time?
Yeah.
So those are the big parts that I'm seeing from the developer side.
Yeah. So I made a video a while back. I think it was before you got in on Mass Pause and all that stuff. So I won't hold it against you if you haven't watched it. But I was getting an artist. It was for the YouTube avatar and everything. I was trying to find an artist, and I just made a post on Reddit. It's like, hey guys, here's what I need. I'm very bad at communicating with artists. It's like saying what I need. But a bunch of people responded, and I think I stopped it at once I got 100 replies. I was like, I can't do anymore. So I just put a lid on it and was going through all the portfolios. And yeah, a lot of them were scams. A lot of them were just really, I guess, low quality, we'll say, is just not it. I mean, I did give them description on what I wanted. It wasn't completely, you know, just up in the air or whatever, but there's just a lot of, does this person not speak English, or did they just not read? You know, it's like,
yeah.
Where's the line? You know, I can't tell, but it's like they're not clearly not understanding what I wanted. Things like that. And then, yeah, it's difficult. So I guess tell us how this tool's going to solve all our problems.
Well, the idea is that there are places where our artists are and devs are. A lot of the devs were like, I don't have problems finding artists. A lot of the times it said that they used, I use references from other people. Like, oh, this artist worked with my friend and then they suggested them over to me. Fantastic, great. Or I'm part of groups on Facebook. I find my artists that way. So finding the artist wasn't the problem. And what we were noticing, I say we because I do have a cohort on this as well. And
is it Dave?
It's not Dave. But we noticed that, from the data that we collected, that a lot of the devs were like, my problem is getting follow through. And that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on. A lot of people kept referencing, oh goodness, it's a very similar platform. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like VGen, I think is what it was called. VGen. Have you heard of that before?
Nope.
So VGen is basically all the artists are vetted beforehand to make sure they are, meeting their standards, they're professional. I believe their big point is that you are not an AI artist and you're not just, throwing garbage out into the world. And that's their big thing. They are very, very, very thorough with vetting their artists to make sure that they are not overstepping any of those guidelines, which is very cool. But it ultimately is, okay, you're in this, you have a project, you want to commission, great. Now you have to sift through all of the art that's in front of your face to find what you're looking for. So the idea for this is to have a developer come in and they're saying, I'm making a sci-fi game. I want it to be black and white art. I don't need any color. And I want art that is going to be full project. So I need the cover, I need filler art, I need equipment, I need characters, I need everything. And we will be, all right, cool. Here are 5 artists that fit your project. They are open for commission right now, and they are in your budget.
What if they don't know what their budget is? So, see, like when I was trying to get a cover for a book I did, it was like the first thing this lady asked me was like, what's your budget? And I was like, oh.
Yeah. That artists do that too. So I would say for that kind of thing, it would be, are you willing to pay up to this much?
Okay.
And if we have someone that falls into that, we will suggest them. And if it goes over that, we can just be like, oh, you guys can kind of work that out with your contract and things like that. But it's basically to just get rid of the bloat of having to sift through all of these art pages constantly to find one you're looking for.
Yeah. It's hard to find art MSRP. You're right, Wisp.
Yeah, art MSRP, because you're going to have different artists that have different needs and requirements. And we want to vet artists to make sure that you guys line up values as well. So a lot of the artists are like, I do not want Gen AI anywhere near me, and I don't want to be associated with a project that uses it in any capacity, which is fine. That's respectable. We want to make sure we pair you with a game developer that has the same views and that they don't touch AI and things like that. Great. I have also spoken to artists who are like, hey, if you use it to rewrite a couple things to make it more clear, or you run your rule set through it to make sure nothing's contradicting, or use it in any sort of non-creative way, I'm fine with that. That's fine. So we want to pair those people together that have those similar boundaries. So that's the idea. But again, I'm saying this all from my perspective as an artist in the community. So any devs out there that have questions or comments or concerns,
Oh,
please
the
let me
chat's
know.
loaded with devs right now.
Oh, hello, devs.
Everybody's making their own game. Um,
Yes.
Unfortunately, Peter is on a call, he said, but he would have been helpful. He just got here. He's the Tales from Elsewhere guy.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, he's got a big project he's working on with multiple artists. Like he has one guy that just makes maps, and then he has one guy doing, since it's old Western, I think he's just got one guy doing kind of like the list of things you can buy, but he made them look like old sales papers from the catalogs back in the day. Yeah, you know.
I love that.
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
It's super
I love
cool.
a theme.
Mm-hmm.
I do see someone who asked a question on here that I do want to touch on.
All right, knock yourself out.
Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm good at line work, but under experienced with coloring. I've gone to AI coloring my picture. It seems to take so much time. I'm not always happy with the outcome. Someone responded to this saying, do color studies of professional artists and break down the palette and things like that. Great advice. I hate coloring. I'm good at it, I think, but I am not a fan of it personally. I would look at film, like screenshots from film, and they color pick. Use your color picker. Like take a screenshot from something that you're like that kind of gives the mood that you're kind of going for, and just color pick it over. And you just port everything over. I've done that before. Like I drew a picture of my character and I looked off a screenshot from like I think it was like Voltron or something, because I was really into Voltron for a little bit. And I was like, let's just transfer all of the color over here, because the more you do it, the quicker you learn.
That's right. All right, I got the good stuff here. We'll see if it might be too big. The board might scream at me. Oh, here it is.
Oh no, it's fine.
So if you zoom in, so yeah, like his hammer is made out of like not construction beams, but that type of
that's so
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, and his arm and everything, all the gears and stuff. That's what I was looking at when I first saw it. I was like, man, that stuff actually works. It makes sense.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
And
beautiful.
the handle, it might be kind of hard to see, but the whole shaft or rod of that hammer, I believe it's the big part that connects the wheels on the train that you see doing like this, you know, the
going
yeah. So yeah, man.
So yeah.
Super cool.
Giving your artist creative freedom, that is the kind of stuff you'll get.
Yeah.
Would you have thought that at any point? Would you be like, I want this specific thing, I want the hammer to look, like that, or like his arm to look like that? Like I know you could be like, I want it to be this, but like actually seeing like how it actually would work is like a whole different level.
Yeah, I think Peter gave him the freedom on that one. I know he's done that on a few of the monsters too. Like Peter had an idea for one, and he's just like, man, this ain't working. And the guy was like, well, can I just go nuts with it, basically? He said, sure. And he came up with something that was very much what Peter wanted.
And I like the asking permission as well, because you don't want to overstep, obviously.
So I don't know if you can see the little line doodles I'm putting over there.
Yeah.
Those are something Glee made those. They were for a book. One they go over the chapter number. One's on the spine of the book, and then that wide one's like a scene break in the book. And I really liked that because that was all tying into a theme and behind the scenes and stuff. And I was trying to find an artist, and I was like, look, I need you to draw me a dragon head based off those scribbles. So yeah, if I can find the picture here, and this is what she came up with, and I thought it was super duper cool.
Yep, you could see that they looked at the spacing and how the lines loop and translated that over.
I was super happy with it. So
and like the incorporations of like the dots as well. So the artist noticed that. They noticed, like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's not normally what she does either. It was she normally does Indian ink paintings, I think is what it's called. So like really, really dark stuff, and she makes like a lot of horror things. Peter would probably like it. A little grim for me, but she had made some comment in her profile somewhere about really wanting to do book covers. So I was like, hey, I got a job for you. And she's the one like was, what's your budget? And I was like, I don't know, because like, if I say, okay, it's $100, but if you come back and say, oh, well, I provide this, 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 and this, and I'll be like, okay, well, that's worth $200 for me, right? That's why I have no idea how to answer the budget question. And to be clear, I did pay her more than $200, so I didn't jip her. I just sticking with easy numbers. So
let me look and see. Let me see if I can pull up our dev chat thing. Hold on, Google Forms. Because I wanna read live to you what some of these answers were.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
The publisher
you devs get ready.
Granted, this is a very small pool of people.
I haven't answered it yet. I guess I need to.
You can if you want to. Oh, I had a lot of people say card games. Yeah. So currently finding artists, the devs say. 80% of them say they use it personal network or referrals or social media. And also the other highest was Facebook groups. So we noticed that finding artists was not the problem. People are generally having a very good experience doing so. The biggest pain point is managing the project after hiring, artists not meeting deadlines, finding the right style, and artists becoming unavailable mid-project.
So I will also say people being unreliable, that is a people problem, not an artist problem. But yeah, I do fair. Hear that a lot. Yeah, the people will be like, yeah, got the Kickstarter money, we were a third through the project, and then they left the planet. Just disappeared.
So another thing, what are biggest overall challenges with hiring artists? Finding reliable artists, start within the budget. Time spent coordinating everything, so the back and forth between I need this, blah, 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 or like, hey, checking in, that kind of thing. So 46% of our people who took the survey said they spent over $5,000 on their art. And then 33% said 1,000 to 5,000. Hi, where are these people? Where can I find them?
Give me that money.
Give me your money. So people are willing to pay for that, which is great. It says a lot of people prefer. You can confirm this being a creator yourself. Do you prefer paying with a flat rate or per piece? Those are the two highest. That's why I'm asking. Like, those are the two highest answers.
I feel like per piece. It just seems easier. Like, you tell me, that way I know what I'm going. Now with flat rate, that's like, how are you defining flat rate?
It's like, I will do this one character for you for $120.
That's not per piece?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought that's what you said. But yeah, flat project per rate, I would say, oh, you want me to do your entire book? I want $2,000.
So how do you put a limit? Like, I will do up to X number of pictures, or?
Yeah, so I do a, this is just how I work, how I operate. I'll do a, what is it? Like a Kickstarter package, a PR package, kind of. I'll be like, hey, I'll make you a hero piece. We're going to make you a couple filler spots. We're going to make you a couple of the characters, and I'll do a full scene for you. And this is how much I ask for that. This will help you kickstart your game. You'll have visuals for your crowdfunding. You can use them for whatever. If your game is successfully crowdfunded, I will take funds from your crowdfunding and finish out the rest of the project for you. But up front, this is the package you get. You can have the artwork for whatever purposes you want.
Okay. I would be per piece, just because it's, I guess, safer might be the word. It's just like, you you know what you're gonna get. I know what I'm gonna get. You know, it's like if I need 20, pieces. It's gonna be 20 times whatever. None of this. Now, if people want to do a bulk discount, you know, I'm all for that.
Some artists do. Some artists will be like, "Hey, if you buy 10, I'll take X amount of percentage off because I'm guaranteed the work or whatever like that."
Yeah.
But I've also talked to artists being like, "I'm doing more work. Why am I taking money off?"
Yeah. Let's see. I was trying to find where is it? Peter's wife, the Tales from Elsewhere guy. She's gonna, if I ever get mine off the ground, she did some artwork for me, and it was just that, you know, X dollars per piece. So I got a handful from her. It is nowhere near as serious as the guy swinging the hammer down there, but.
Oh yeah, I have seen this before. It's
did
so
I show
cute.
it to you? Okay, I couldn't remember if I did or not.
Yeah, I got the belt idea from this picture.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And the little it's so cute.
Oh, here, we'll drop him in there too then.
That's so cute. I love that so much.
They're super fun. So that was just one of those accidental good finds. Like, as there was some little chibi kind of art on Peter's channel and his videos and kind of floating out through a server, and I was like, "Hey man, who did that?" And he was like, "Oh, this is my wife." I was like, "Okay, I think that would be really good for the one I'm working on. So like, let me get some test stuff." And I just gave her like one line prompts for a lot of these, just like, "Hey, a TTRPG or a JRPG slime going on an adventure," and she decided to make it a donut. So, you know,
Oh, that's so cute.
she had a lot of fun.
I love that.
Yep.
That's adorable.
Yep. So that was, I guess, word of mouth / found in the wild discovery.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the publishers are saying I don't have problem finding the artists. It's the in between, the actual working the project part, which is kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards. I don't want to just help the artists find or creatives to work with. I want it to be a mutual thing. I want them to be on the same page as far as like workflow goes, but also the idea is to have a platform that has a place where you would communicate together. So like in platform messaging, that way, if someone has a discrepancy or if there's some bad stuff happening, like someone's getting yelled at or bad words are being said, someone from the team can come in and be like, "Hey, what's going on? You know, you said over here you would deliver it by this time. You did not follow up." Like that, kind of like being a referee a little bit, just to have that peace of mind. Another thing, message history for accountability. Also, you can do file sharing, briefs, that kind of thing, because, if you take this to, Facebook, I do a lot of my stuff through Messenger. That's someone's personal account a lot of the time. Do you want to share that information and like your personal life with them? It also just holds people accountable.
So are you going to handle like transactions on this site too that you want to make, or?
I like monetary stuff. I think so. I think we're going to do an escrow situation. That way both people have to hit a button that says project complete for the money to transfer through. That way, if the artist bounces, they don't get their money. Person gets their money back in full. So then we're going to help you find a new artist.
What do you do if the dev decides not to push complete, even though he got all his art? Or,
well, you won't get anything that's unwatermarked.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make that a best practice to make sure everything's watermarked or like very low like quality.
Yeah, well, I say every time somebody uploads something, you could have this thing in place that just automatically slaps gibberish all over it. I guess they still have to be able to see it to some extent, but
yeah, it won't be too intense or anything like that. If there is any type of ghosting involved, we can step in and be like, "Hey, you have 72 hours to respond to this, whoever. If not, we're kicking you. We're kicking you out." So if the artist goes silent, they're booted from the platform. If the dev is not responding, you're going to get flagged in our account and possibly booted as well.
I like that. Have you ever used
Yeah.
Upwork before or seen it?
I've seen it. It's very similar, and that's kind of where we're getting a lot of like inspiration for it.
Okay.
They also have a rating system that we're really interested in as well.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking too, it's been a while and they've, they change every couple of years, but that's where I found the artist for the book that was showing off earlier. And I think obviously Upwork's a little more broad because it covers more stuff, so they can't hone in on art specifically. But I think like the person you're hiring, when they set up their project and they can put steps and waypoints in there that you have to, I can't remember if that's how it worked or not. So that might be something. You could set up some kind of structure and get people to confirm the waypoints as they go through.
And then people work differently. Like, and that's something that, the game creator is going to have to speak with the artist. Like, hey, do you prefer like check-ins, or do you want to just be left alone? How do you want to go about this? That's going to be something that's a personal thing that'll be taken care of. But that's something that we on the platform can go back and reference if something is not kept up. Cool. So it's a lot of project management stuff, which is what I'm really interested in. I think it would be helpful. And, we did have a few people on the survey say like, this is too much. It's a little bloated. This is not necessary. And I'm like, well, this might not be for you then, because this is for the game creators who are like, I don't know what to do. Or this is for very big companies, or not companies, but very big, like bigger indie publishers that are like, I don't even want to think about this. Mm-hmm. Or someone who's been burned before, like people on Fiverr, they'll just take your money.
Fiverr, Reddit, Upwork, shoot, Reedsy. I don't know if you know Reedsy. That's for hiring editors and whatnot, but they'll just take your money and run too. Ooh. It's brutal. So
that's kind of where the escrow thing comes in. A lot of artists will be like, I want X amount paid up front. And I think the escrow thing will kind of ease that from them. So that's good. And as far as artists goes, I am vehemently against subscriptions.
Yeah. Well,
I do not.
As a human being with limited funds, I am also against subscriptions.
Yes, that was something that we definitely talked about. And we have to make money, or else this thing will not be able to stay afloat. That's a given. I think everyone can understand that. But I think it will be only a small percentage from projects that are completed in entirety.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if you wanted to get into it or not. That's I think that's also how Upwork does it. That's how Reedsy does it. And shoot, isn't that how Fiverr does it? Or
I don't know.
I think they're all just take a transaction fee or a percentage or whatever. So
but because it was to being like, a lot of people were like, I don't want to pay for a thing. Like maybe in the future, far future, where we have something that is valuable enough to warrant it being subscription based, but as of right now, absolutely not.
Yeah, I could see the subscription, because the subscription right now would be very, I would say, nonsensical, because it's such a long-term thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to hire one artist to do this project, and then they have to work for multiple weeks. The site itself is only doing a couple steps during that, right? Like connecting you to the artist. Now, if you got farther down the line and it's like, oh no, there are tools, people can help you through your project. Like you have live service, so to speak, and a project manager. If you're like me and you don't know what the hell you're doing, and it's like, oh no, we can hook you up for X dollars a month. This project manager will manage your project for you and help you through it. That would be a super cool service, I think. But
we're definitely leaning towards project management, and that's why we want to be able to step into messaging, not just for resolving any issues that might come up, but also being someone as like kind of a middle man, because art direction is a thing that I am interested in. And even being with the artist and just being like, hey, I could be a second pair of eyes for you in case you miss something. Let me read the brief that you got. Let me check your thing. I can make suggestions. You can take them or leave it. But also, on the dev side, you could be like, I don't know how to nicely tell the artist that I don't like this.
Yeah.
That's where this person would come in and be like, hey, we got that for you. It would be a middleman thing. It's optional. Like, that's definitely a thing you don't have to use, but is something that we would love to be able to do if you need it.
Yeah. No,
especially if you're new.
I could see that being super helpful. All right. I got, there's a question Twice Dead really wants answered. He's asked it twice, and I'm just poking at him. Twice for Twice Dead. But while we're going into that, so we can give people time to type, there's a question or two you have for devs specifically you want them to be thinking about while we get into Twice Dead's question?
I would say, what is your biggest pain point with working with artists? Assuming it's not finding them, do you think this platform idea would be beneficial, or do you think it's a little too much, too involved? Like I said, that's kind of, we're getting a little bit of mixed reactions. A lot of people are saying like, hey, this is all great. Also, I don't want to pay for it. Completely understand.
Let's say that's going to be the biggest challenge is money.
yeah. Money is going to be an issue. And like, I would love for this to be a nonprofit. I would absolutely adore that. But, the partner I'm working with, his name's Chris Backey. And he's like, he is very much so on the dev side, and he's also very business savvy as well. And he's like, we need to have something to put back in to keep the platform running.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable. But also at devs, any questions you have for artists, like how to speak to them, I'd be happy to talk about that as well.
All right. Well,
so,
Twice Dead.
What was the question?
It is, how do you reconcile multiple historical styles within one project? I am moving between the Napoleonic and medieval, and Whispering Wisp project is Nor and Mech. Any advice?
So I would say if someone was coming to me being like, hey, we got some like weird time stuff that's going to be very different, like we're all over the place, I would ask for a little bit of time to study. Like maybe not jump in immediately and start expecting artwork immediately. Especially if you're working with just one artist. If you do decide to work with two completely separate ones, you have to kind of make sure that that art meshes together as well. Maybe introduce the artists to each other and they can work together. That's also a thing you can do. But as far as if it's just one person, be like, hey, I really want you to take a look at these books, these references, these movies, these cartoons, these pieces of artwork. This is kind of the different vibes that I'm getting. You could also kind of do a test run. I've done that before, where it's like, let me give you an art brief real quick. I just want to see how you would approach this. And then you can decide, do you want to work with this person or not? That's how I would approach it.
Well, there you go. There's a little...
Oh my gosh!
That's the same lady who did these things. That's what I saw those and was like, hey. It was funny is because I was like, I originally planned to get colored ones like this. And then I was like, well, just to see how this works, like give me some black and white ones before you do all the coloring. And she sent the black and white ones. And I was like, considering the game and everything that's going in, I think the black and white's the way to go. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have seen the colors, but
yeah, it's cute. I like the brush that they used that gave it like the canvas texture. That's super cute.
Stabby.
Yeah, like, hey, yeah, there's no issue with that. I've had to do, art pieces where it's been like, I would like this in color, and then you do the color, and then they're like, let me see just the line work, and I'm like, here you go, and they're like, oh yeah, the line work rules. Like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. All right. Wisp says, I think having a tiered approach with different levels of price in conjunction with involvement is viable. Just don't go public. Sad face. Twice Dead says, my biggest problem in the few times I have paid for commissions was the language barrier. Yeah, so Twice Dead is English is his second language, at least his second language. A Spanish-speaking guy talking in English to a Korean artist, and our lack of English skill led to troubles. Yeah, that can be problematic.
Yeah.
But they were lovely to work with, he says.
They were lovely. I think that'll be part of our vetting because we do plan to vet the artists that come in. You know, what's your native language? Do you speak any other languages? Are you comfortable working with people from other countries? That kind of thing. But the vetting is going to be a lot of, are you prepared to work on full projects? And like, are you reliable in a professional setting? Because this is your job. This will be a job. This is not a one-off thing where you can just be like, I don't want to do this anymore, and then just leave. So that will also be kind of integrated into our vetting process as well. Because like I said, a lot of people are worried about them just dipping halfway through. But, you know, language barrier. I like the tiered approach. We did talk about that. Maybe that'll be something that we will lean into in the future once we kind of have our foot in the door. We definitely plan to start out very small. We will not be going public. Because one of the ideas was like, oh, let's have a free tier, and then maybe there's a higher tier where it's like you're verified. So artists can come in and post their things, but unless they have the verified tag, which just means that they were vetted, it doesn't mean that they paid premium or anything like that. If you don't have that tag, maybe the devs they can hire you, but we can't guarantee that, you know, you won't drop out of the game.
At their own risk.
I don't think I want to do that personally. Just because that's how you get bots, that's how you get scammers,
Right.
that's how you get
a bad name too.
Yeah,
because people will ignore somebody tries to tell them, well, they weren't verified, it was on you. They're like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
nothing's my fault.
I don't want to do that. It's up for debate if the devs will get vetted as well. I don't think so. I think it's only going to be the artists. The devs that are coming in, the process that we have right now is, you know, the developer comes into the platform and they fill out a little form that says, this is my project, this is what I need, this is my budget range, this is my timeline, and this is my style preference. And then we'll match you with the artists from our database that is based on your style and their willingness to work, like if they're available currently. A lot of the artists say that they can work on 2 to 3 different projects at a time. So that's nice. But you can look through their profiles and be like, okay, I like their style. And then look through another one, like, ooh, actually, I like theirs better. And then kind of decide from there. After that, we will team you two up. We'll introduce you two. You guys can kind of go through, you know, your structure, your scope, your expectations, deadlines. We will also help you with a contract as well. You know, we'll do a simple written agreement, and then maybe later on we'll actually have it be like lawyer verified. That way, again, if anyone dips, they're at the mercy of the contract.
Yeah.
So that also kind of gives a little bit more stakes for you to not drop out. Obviously, life happens. Like, major life events will happen, and that will be a factor. As long as that's communicated, it's fine. But, you know, we'll keep that contract for our records in case we do need to step in. And, you know, we'll provide light support. We can do check-ins. You can, you know, be a second pair of eyes for the artist or the dev. And then project complete, gather feedback, log how everything went. And then we're thinking about also doing a rating system for the artists and the game developers as well. Being like, hey, we met our thing on time. They were great to work with. Here you go. And then that'll signal to other artists and devs, yeah, they're trusted.
Oh, okay. So, like, when you're vetting, are you actually going to be having proper interviews with these artists that all sign up and want to be part of it? Like, get on the video thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be the best way to do it. Just because artist survey, a lot of people were like, I'm worried that there's going to be a ton of artists and not enough work. So this is going to be something that, you know, you are probably only going to have like a couple artists at the very beginning of it, like maybe 10. And then you're going to be stuck on a wait list until we get more devs. Without the devs, we don't have work. So we don't want to oversaturate any sort of market yet.
Okay.
So that'll be nice.
All right. Well, Wisp asks, will there be a blacklist or whitelist style of search, as in starting with every artist and exclude a poor fit, or starting with nothing and only include those that fit all criteria rather than some?
I like that. If you want to just run through the database by yourself, you are more than welcome to. I don't think, as far as like blacklist, whitelist kind of thing, it wouldn't be based on performance. It would be based off of your criteria that you stated that you needed for your project. Because who knows? Like there might be an artist that you're like, oh, I really like their style, but they, let's say it's very mech heavy, and they're like, I do not do any mech stuff. Sorry. That's kind of where we're wanting to match you ourselves. Just because it's like, oh, you like my style, that's cool, but you're asking me specifically for a thing that I do not specialize in and I'm not comfortable with. Mm-hmm. You can ask, because they might be like, yeah, I can give it a shot, but it might not be. Yeah. It will be on you if it doesn't turn out how you have it in your brain. So I think that's fair.
Twice Dead wants to know, how do you blacklist people that leave you hanging out to dry?
We will kick them from the platform completely. They are gone. I don't have any tolerance for that kind of thing. And then obviously, as the game dev, your money was secure. It's not like you paid them beforehand. You'll just get your money back, and we will apologize profusely that they sucked. We tried to prevent that, and then we'll hook you up with someone else.
Well, that's more than Reedsy does, because I told them this person sucked, and they're like, too bad. You hired him. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's the mutual trust that I really want to kind of work towards, and also the project management thing, especially with artists that want to get into this and they're lost or they get overwhelmed. It'll be nice to, have a third person or something to just be like, hey, it's all cool. We got this. This is what you got to do. I'll give you a deadline. Here you go.
Yeah. All right. So if you're going to be interviewing people, and then you got to read over these people's projects manually, and then search yourself and try and find who to fit them, who's doing all the work? Is that all going to be you, or?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm like I said, we're starting extremely small. It's me and a guy named Chris. We are looking for, collaborators. If you want to be on this, definitely, reach out to me, and we can try to work something out. This is all in kind of like a discovery phase right now, but starting small, it'll just be me and Chris doing this. We want to, goal number one, find an artist, find a dev, match them up, they complete something, hurrah, we did it. And
Mission
then we'll
accomplished.
slowly start to build up after a while, and then we'll start hiring people, and then we're going to have more and more things. Ideally, way down the line, if this becomes, a thing that is successful by whatever metrics that means, I would love to, take it to conventions and be like, hey, you're a dev. Here you go. This is what we do. If you need us, holler. Or, doing, talks at conventions and being like, hey, this is how you as a game creator can talk to an artist, and this is how an artist will interpret this different situation and things like that. So yeah, I'm reading all of these as well.
Yeah,
so I'm just kind of like,
yeah. No, that's a lot of work. So you said if people want to help out, so it's not in the description now. All I have is their ArtStation link, I think, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
yep.
I'll say you can give whatever links you want them to have. You can give me, and I will edit the description if somebody's watching this later. Let's see. When will it be? Oh, there's the real question. When's it going to be live? When can I use it?
we still have to get back end stuff. I think Chris already got the domain, I believe. So he's on it. It's going to be called, I believe it was the Tabletop Artist Network is what it's fully called. He has a domain already ready to go. But like I said, right now we're just in discovery phase. We're taking suggestions from the community because we want this to be of service to people. So if there's something that you're seeing that we're not, we would love to hear about it. If you have ideas, we want to hear about it. So it'll be a bit before it goes like officially live, but I am excited for when it does. Yeah, I have like a notebook just full of all these notes because we've been brainstorming like crazy.
That's all right. That's how you do it. So, but yeah, okay. So it's going to be called Tabletop Network. What if you get big, or people are like, "Hey, this is a really nice service, but I have a kid's book I'm writing, or I want a graphic novel. You know, something that still requires that connection." Would you branch out, or?
I think so. I'd like to get writers involved, like freelance writers. I would like to get editors, layout people, graphic designers. I would like to get anything that is considered artistic or creative. It is called tabletop artists, but I want it to be all creative. Also, I kind of also want it to get into playtesters as well. You can hire playtesters. Yeah. I think that would be really helpful as well. That maybe that'll be a different platform, but I think that would be also something that I see a lot of people be like, I need playtesters, please help.
Yeah. No, that would be great to be able to go somewhere and say, I want to test this thing out and get reliable, you know, actually thoughtful feedback. But man, I don't think you could pay me enough to try and hire people willing to play test games and like run them through all that and keep up with that, because that would be such a, everybody would and their brother would be trying to sign up. It's like, oh, you're gonna pay me to play at TTRPGs? Yeah, sign me up.
I mean, you pay GMs to run your games. Why wouldn't you pay your playtesters?
Hey, somebody wants to know, would Lynn be willing to partner with me for a 1,200 plus chapter long manga?
Oh my god. Funny thing you say that is I actually used to make a webtoons comic. Like way back in the day, I did a webtoons comic, and I burned myself out real bad because I didn't know how to delegate things. That was a bad time. I've learned.
So is that a no? You don't want to do the mile long manga over here? Or?
I can certainly try. Only problem is I don't do anime art. I don't do manga art. So, you know, that's just the thing. I don't watch manga or like anime or manga or anything like that. I mean, I have, but.
Well, George, if you're fine with what you see on the screen there.
Yeah.
She can do that. Yeah, playtesters aren't hard to come by, but good playtesters are a rarity. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, man.
That's super cool. Oh, about artists and what they're willing to do, like someone that does character art in wood etching style. That's cool. Do we ask them if they're willing to do backgrounds directly? Yeah, you can just ask them. You can just straight up ask them. Like, we're not going to, like, police anything that you ask them to do, but we would only, you know, jump in if there's a discrepancy. And then, you know, we can go through your chats and be like, oh, here's the receipt where you said you would totally do this, and now you're saying that never happened. Cool.
Let's see. Wisp says, I don't know what he's asking here. I've seen game devs at conventions. Would there be plans to help with that too? I mean, you had mentioned conventions and stuff before, but I'm not sure exactly what he's asking there. If you're helping them get to conventions or navigate conventions, you're going to make a booth for them?
I'd probably do a booth eventually. I'd like to do a booth for this. But, you know, you got to start out old school where you just kind of come up to them and introduce yourself and be like, hey, here's my card.
Yeah.
I was told, I don't know who told this to me, but they're like, oh yeah, that's how I find some of my artists, is because they came up to me at a convention that I had a booth at, and they just showed me their portfolio and stuff. I'm like, man, that sounds like cold calling.
That's ballsy.
But in person, and then you can't get away from them because they're standing in front of you.
Yeah.
At least with a message, like, you can just ignore it. But I don't know. I feel like, is that invasive?
If I were stuck at a booth and somebody just came up to me trying to sell their portfolio, I would not like that.
That's what I would imagine.
Yeah. Now, but see, I'm also the type of person who will read every email, every comment on a video, right? Like, so if you just sent me an email with your portfolio, I'm going to look at it. Even if I am not in the position to hire somebody, I have no need. I'm like, oh, shoot, they sent it to me. I'll look at it. And I will even respond and say, hey, super cool. But that's when it doesn't go to spam.
Right.
Oh, man. But no, I would not want to be duck at a con like
It's
that.
like, great. Now you're not leaving. Awesome.
Yeah. But my approach would be, hoodie like this, just a pocket full of cards, and walk by. Oh, I tripped and spilled all my cards. I'm sorry. Oh no.
It's like, oh, great. That's where you need like a signal to whoever you're working with at the booth and be like, oh, we need you over here. Kind of shuffle you away.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's the signal word? Orange.
Yeah.
If you hear me say orange, get me out of here. Tell me I have to be somewhere urgently elsewhere.
Oh, man. Golly. Let's see. If you'd have good playtesters available, would that include playtest manager that organizes all the feedback and coordinates the team? Yeah, that's the thing I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, no. And one person says, I feel like conventions are for networking, though. I agree to an extent because it depends on what you're there for. Some people are there specifically for networking. Some people are there to push a product that they just came out with or like a project, and they don't want to. They don't want to necessarily network at that point in time. Like it again, it's all dependent on what the purpose is of the person being there. Like if I were to ever have a booth at a convention, I am super against it being a merchandise booth. I don't like printing my things and selling them because that's just not the kind of art that I make.
You make one of a kind.
I do.
Unique.
And like, wouldn't feel comfortable, making stickers of things and selling them for $5 each or, prints of stuff because a lot of my stuff is, specialty made. So
I can get behind that. I imagine a playtester is a bit like what Peter mentioned in a previous video. Maybe if they don't fill it out, they get a mark. Fill out what? Feedback or something? Did I miss one?
Yeah, I love how the playtester thing, everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah, I feel like if you had playtesting as part of this service, you would burn through so many people trying to playtest, like, wanting to get in on it or money or whatever, they just be like, no, you're not actually helping. You're just playing a game.
You have to give back more feedback than just a single line.
I like the way the dice rolled.
The dice felt good, even though they're my own.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. It sounds super cool. It's going to be rough at first, though, having to do all that work yourself.
Yeah.
But if you can power through that, get through the growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't even thought about other artist views on convention prints. That's kind of cool to hear about. I was I was at Gen Con and there was a lot of people selling prints. I may or may not have bought a lot of them, but
I think it's awesome. I buy prints from other artists. I have a whole bookshelf of, art books from my friends and things like that. It's just, I feel like it's two different types of artists. And there are some that kind of do both, which is fantastic. It's just that if someone was like, hey, make a bunch of prints to sell at a booth, I'd be like, I don't even know what to make. Yeah. And like, obviously I'm not going to be selling commissioned work that I did because they're not mine. And I'd feel weird selling my own artwork that has my own characters in it. If I were to sell any print, it would be that 70s retro junker mech guy that I made.
He's pretty cool.
He's cool. I think he'd be a cool print. I have no attachments to him, which makes me feel better about selling him. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, who's going to buy that? Why? What's the purpose? That's just me, though.
Oh, somebody would, 100%.
Yeah, but I feel bad of like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. I guess I'm just so used to, personalized work for an individual.
That's all right. Let's see. Twice Dead made a comment here, and it made me think about something. I've been solo testing my game for so long because playtesters don't stick around. But see, this is where the service would be so handy. Because see, I have my little circle of friends, and I can bug them all day, every day. Usually, it's like, hey, you want to test this again? You want to test this again? You want to test it again? Well, then you run into that problem we've talked about before, where you're designing for designers, or you're writing for writers, or you're, you don't want a play tester to play test over and over and over again. I don't feel like you want a new batch of people a lot of times, like depending on what you change and what you're doing. Like sometimes you want to compare Like
Yeah.
if
And
you did
also,
a small tweak, like, okay, how did this feel in comparison? But like they're there from beginning to end, I think you'll be shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah, you need to rotate out your people, also have different skill levels
Mm-hmm.
as well. Because like, you need to have someone who's not maybe not like if you're doing it for a specific game system, be like, hey, I need people who have never played this game system before.
Yeah, when we were doing some testing for Moss and Stone, which if you don't know is a play set for a game called Easy D6, so I got people who were familiar with Easy D6, and I was like, okay, how does this feel? Does it still feel like the core game? And then I got people who had never played Easy D6, and like, okay, is this too much all at once? Like, is it too many extra rules? So, yeah, that different skill level is definitely helpful.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Be like, yes, eventually branch out into playtesting.
Let's see. Keep them on track. Headache inducing. I agree. Bigger sample size of testers is also important. That was Blaze. He's never played Easy D6, and you did all right. Playtesting cross genre. Personal groups will often prefer similar genres more than the different ones. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, boy. All right. Well, shoot. You got anything else you want to throw out there, or?
Actually, if
You got
I'm
some
assuming
more.
everyone here is a publisher, I'd love to get you guys to fill out the survey if you'd like.
Oh yeah. That's what needs to go in there. You want to send me the
Here.
link on Discord or
Yeah,
something, or?
I will. There's that.
Blaze rolled 5 ones in a row. You did, but that wasn't Easy D6's fault. You just suck at rolling dice.
Ouch.
All right, here's a survey, and I will also put it in the description.
Yeah.
For the Twitch chat, I'll put it over here too. If y'all are in that line of work.
Yeah, it'd be super helpful. And like there are places on that survey where you can kind of just type out stuff. So, and I'll read it. I'll read all of it.
I gotta make myself a note or I'll forget. Edit description. Did you have any other links you wanted in there too? Like contact or anything, or?
Yeah, here, let me you can just put that's my Discord. You can actually just friend me on Discord and I can chat with you directly. And then
Be your best buddy.
Oop, I can't spell my name.
Oh, is he?
There you
And
go.
pre-stream, you were like, people can't spell my name right. Word.
I can't spell my name. Whoa. There you go.
How do I sell people into an anachronistic Napoleonic war game? Like, well, you can make it easier to say for one thing. It's the only thing that worked.
Anachronistic.
Yeah, like the only thing that worked was Imagine Warhammer Fantasy kept going till the Napoleonic. Is it Napoleonic? Is that how you say it? Age rather than blowing up. Okay, we got there. All right.
I mean, that's a good way to sell it. Just saying it like how it is pretty fun.
People know what Warhammer is.
Yeah.
All right, I will
keeping it simple.
I will get that in the description. The Holy Bro. What is the story behind the Holy Bro anyway?
So that is the that's my paladin that I played in D&D. That I made a webcomic about him. I have cardboard cutouts of him somewhere around here.
Is that the orc face thing that your avatar?
That's not the orc face. Let me see. I don't even know if I have him on here. Let me see if I can put him in the chat. But he's my paladin who is a like total dude, bro. And like he's I don't know, he just stuck with me. And when I was in my art groups on Facebook, because it was like for like fantasy art is what it was. And I posted pictures of him and be like, hey, this is my character. Like, look at him. He's pretty fun. And then people latched onto him very quickly.
There's the orc dude. Is that an orc?
Yeah, my little orc face. Yeah.
Okay.
I just made him for fun one day.
And then now he's your avatar.
Oh, this is completely off topic, but in case anyone wanted to see. This is me and my armor when I did Boo Hurt.
Oh, heck yeah. All geared up. Look at you.
Yep. And let me tell you,
Gets toasty.
nothing, yes, but nothing, makes you reconsider what is scary until there is a like mace flying at your head or an axe flying at your head. So that has made me very brave.
I wish I had had this around me to get into in my younger years. I would have had a lot of fun.
Oh, it's expensive.
Yeah.
You don't want to know how much my armor costs.
Several grand.
Yep.
I almost took a fencing class. There was one that was semi nearby. Kind of wish I had done that.
There he is. This is not my artwork. This is something I had commissioned from another artist, but that's my paladin.
Woo.
Yeah, he's adorable. I love him. That's the Holy Bro.
Holy Bro.
Name kind of stuck. But it's funny though, because in the Boo Hurt world, they do the little hand like hang loose symbol all the time. All the time. Bro. Yeah. I do unironically say bro, and like I'm technically from California, so that's my excuse, and I'll stick with it. Bro.
You're gonna slay some evil, brah.
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 Yeah. But yeah, that was my 2 years as a knight in shining armor.
That's not bad. I approve.
Yeah, it was fun. That's also heavy.
Yeah. Did some corvo fighting. Real fear of seeing a guy swing a blade at you and your only armor is a poncho. Yeah, well.
Oh, gosh, no. Oh, yeah, at least I'm thankful my armor was actually, made of titanium. I spent up and got the titanium.
Oh, yeah, you paid good money.
I paid good money for that. And that helmet alone was $1,000.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's all it was, titanium.
It's because the helmet's not titanium. The helmet's steel.
Oh, okay.
Because if it was titanium, my head would be crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fun thing is, since I work in an art museum, we actually have suits of armor.
Well.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I got to dress up in my armor for a museum thing that we were having for kids. It was like a fantasy themed like event for kids. So they're like, "Hey, you should dress up in your armor and let the kids like check it out." And I was like, "Yes." And they paid me extra that day. It was a great day to work.
Punch the kid with a metal gauntlet.
Kapow! That's how they would do it in medieval times, kids.
Yeah. See what happens when you act up.
I work in security.
That's what you need to do at the museum when somebody starts acting up. Just gear up and charge at them.
They had me stand off to the side and just like stand there with my sword. And then they're like, if anyone gets close to you, just freak them out. So I just like...
It's pretty good.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right.
But yes, that is my perspectives as an artist in the tabletop gaming community thus far. And the ideas that I have of hopefully, being able to assist game creators with working with their artists, especially the more on the indie side people. Because, I'd imagine that if you're an indie creator or this is your first time doing this, having a support system, talking to an artist would help.
Yep.
I'd imagine.
Yep. So. No, I super hope that website and system of yours works out, because that could be very helpful. Because there's a lot of folks out there, they got good ideas and they can do, I know ideas are worth a dime a dozen, but like they can do parts of the work really, really, really well. And then they just have no guidance, don't know what to do from there, and just get lost. And then when they take that plunge, it's just in the middle of the ocean. Like not a lot of help out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's super scary. And again, like I said, if if you're on the dev side, or if you're an artist, or you feel like you have some sort of knowledge that could possibly help with this project, definitely send me an email, reach out, and not only do we want to get the community involved in this with its creation and, having your all's feedback, but, we could use help.
Lots of
And who
it.
knows? That might be turning into a paying gig. Who knows?
You got
That'd
to
be cool.
get in early, like I did with that modeling software.
There you go. Yeah. Totally.
All coming back together. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there. Everybody seems good. We got the word out. Everybody knows who you are now, and you're gonna get hired to make art for a 1,200 chapter manga. So all's good. All is good. All right. So say bye, YouTube and Twitch. Now that we do that now.
Bye. Oh, we're on Twitch too. Awesome.
Oh yeah, man. We're professionals over here. All right.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Ending the stream. I will see y'all. What is today? Today's Monday. We're gonna hang out tomorrow. We're gonna hang out tomorrow at noon. So I will see y'all then, and be unproductive. Boom. End stream. And then I have to remember to hit it over here on the Twitch side. Unlike